With the recent, what's happened in America, I want to know your thoughts with the recent mass shootings in that school, right? And I know it's very off topic, but I do want to know your thoughts on what you think about all those mass shootings that happened in the US, and it has not stopped. Apparently it's like they're up to 212 this year, and that one that just happened was in a primary school, and it was only an 18-year-old kid.
Look, it honestly comes down to the gun laws.
100%.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Like in Australia, don't get me wrong, you're going to get illegal guns everywhere in the world.
Yep.
But don't make it too easy.
It's too easy.
It's too easy.
And
and these kids, even honestly, I went to, where was I?
He was 18. The recent one. He was 18.
I went to Universal Studios in LA, and I was lining up for this ride, and I was talking to this little kid, right? Not just me, like there was a whole group of us anyway. There was a young kid, and guns came up, and he was from somewhere in America, and we talked about guns, and I was like, yeah, I went to the shooting range, and for Aussies to go to a shooting range,
it's like a big deal.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
If any Americans are watching this, they'll be like, we have that for breakfast, but that's why you have the problem.
Yeah.
So, and this kid was telling me the guns that he was shooting. He would have been about 8 years old.
It's crazy, huh?
And even the shooting ranges that I have been to in States, in Vegas, Hawaii, and I've seen little kids shooting these massive, like, I don't even know what the guns are called. Like over there, they know the 37, the 42, and they're probably, I mean, like, they have so much access to it. It's, it just takes one little, we're here, if there's a kid having some traumatic moment,
yeah, that's what they always say. They go, it's not the guns. It's like we need to secure our schools. Or he had mental health problems. There's mental health problems here. But they don't take out 30 people in one go at a shop or at a school or at a church. And that's where they are happening over there. In the most places where you don't think that you'll be vulnerable to those types of things.
I believe it is a lot tougher over there, but they do need to change it. But what can you do? Like, it's a country that they're gonna go have
their culture. Their culture is so ingrained to have those guns. But why do you need to have, like you were saying, an 8-year-old kid? Why do you need an AR-15? Those are war guns. Fair enough, a handgun to protect yourself, and that's like, if you break it down here and show what happened in like '96, there was a mass shooting in Tasmania. I don't know if Americans don't know about this, but there was a mass shooting in America. The next day, our Prime Minister back then, John Howard, took away all those, like he regulated all those like heavy artillery automatic rifles. He took all the rifles away, most of them, and you need a license, you need a background check, you need all that to just have a handgun and get a proper license. But I don't know why they're so scared to just do that over there. And they always say like, oh no, we need a Second Amendment. And if they wanted to change, they would have done it years ago, but it's not going to change. And it's so sad, because we see it and it's a big deal. Like,
don't get me wrong, we have shootings here. And there are illegal stuff going around. Again, like,
but it's not
mass. It's reduced. It's not mass. You know what I mean?
Another one I think is, how about that kid, there was a kid a few years ago, he had mental health problems, and he stabbed a sex worker. I don't know if you remember, in the CBD.
No,
and then he was knife wielding, and he was running around. He was running around the CBD and stabbed another 1 or 2 people.
Actually,
and then
I did hear about this. Yeah.
A whole bunch of like people at the restaurants, office workers, chased him down with chairs, a milk crate. Someone stopped him with a milk crate, a chair, and they stopped him because he had a knife. Now, think of that. Like, he had that mental health problem. Mental health is a problem, yes, of course. But imagine he's only 18, 19, and he was able to go to Costco and just grab a AR. How many people in Sydney CBD? That's a big 100%. Difference between a knife and an automatic rifle. Yes, he could have got a handgun, but it's not as easy. I don't know, and it's weird that Americans just don't see it. A lot of them are just like, oh yeah, like they're so numb to it.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, again, like anything, if you're grown up with this the whole life, and it's like that's the
just normal. Yeah, it's in the culture. Yeah. There needs to be a culture change before anything. Yeah. Going back to you. Sorry I had to down it. I just wanted to know your thoughts.
No, that's all good.
And especially since I think it's a big deal
It is though.
that it needs to be talked about as well.
It does though.
Yeah.
Because hopefully they never legalise it here.
And it's sad because, like, you see all the things on the news for a day. You're watching basketball and they talk about it and they're like, thoughts and prayers. Yeah, it's thoughts and prayers for a day. Tomorrow on the timeline on Twitter, it's gone.
It's the power of the media though.